Crap. Okay, I don't know when that happened, but I haven't been recording up to this point.
Oh, for
Oh,
fuck's sake, man.
I don't know.
oh,
Everything
Done
is
one
screwing up.
job.
Long story short, Dave was escorted out of the Mages Guild by a blues dragonborn as Elin came back into town. There was apparently some sort of demonstration that nobody liked, but since the dragonborn didn't have eyebrows to singe off, he was quite receptive to it. Meanwhile, Bram and Zarmorn are selling meat up at the market before the whole group meets up at the Adventurers Guild for a brand new contract. All right, go. So, Dave, you look down the road and you see Elin just kind of staring at you, really disappointed.
All the while, Dave just like lets out a cough. Jesus. And then coughs out a spider web. Jesus. That's
how did you end up swallowing that?
what's been in my throat. That's the last time I tried to eat a spider.
There shouldn't have been a first time.
Is Mordecai there with him?
No,
All right, where is Mordecai? Because Arthur is kind of walking down the road a few paces behind Elin over here.
I imagine I'm just heading to the guild, but
I mean, you'd all be going straight down the same road then. So all three of you just kind of see Dave brushing the soot off of himself, and y'all just kind of, and he's just kind of there like, really? Again? And Arthur's just there like, he doesn't fucking stop, doesn't he?
He never learns.
He never learns.
Zarmon approaches Dave.
Well, you guys are up at the market at this time, still haggling over a price, probably. We'll say that if you met your guy, you're probably walking up the road right now. You're still not within range, though. So,
it's in range, like it's a fucking weapon.
goodness.
I decided to join them, I guess, because I got nothing better to do.
Then Dave runs up, waving, flagging you guys down.
It's less of a wave and more of a pigeon trying to fly.
I could have just started flashing us.
Hey guys, oh man,
Also, the
Was that
Adventurers Guild, it seems. I don't know all the details yet, but we were about to head down, get everybody briefed.
what's going on with you guys?
Is my microphone working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So is he just trolling, or did nobody hear what I said?
I don't think he listened.
I don't know if I'm in range to talk.
We're heading down to the Adventurers Guild to pick up another.
Dave, just
Are you
follow
okay?
us. Just follow.
yeah, I'm fine.
You're having trouble hearing, or?
No, wait. Wait. And then Dave proceeds to rip out like a spider out of his ear. Oh, huh. Because that's why I couldn't hear from my right ear, and then toss the dead spider away. Okay, now I can hear.
Yeah, we're heading down to the Adventurers Guild to pick up another.
Out of curiosity, did Dave actually cast Find Familiar at any point during these 10 days?
Should he have?
It's up to you.
Yes.
maybe to find his keys?
All right, then as you pull that spider out and throw it away, it hits the ground maybe 5 feet behind you, lands on its feet, and then scuttles back towards you up your leg.
Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to introduce you guys. Guys, this is my new friend Bob.
It crawls onto your shoulder and just kind of sits there.
The tiefling and his spider Bob. I like press the heels of my hands into my eyes and go, when did my life become so fucking weird?
It's about the size of a tarantula, but it looks more like a common house spider or a black widow or something like that.
Zarmon kind of like walks up to Dave, just like bends over to like takes a closer look at the little spider.
It doesn't... It looks like a regular old spider, but you do notice there's a familiar sort of red swooping pattern on its thorax at the very back. That kind of looks like the horns of a certain magical dickhead, you know.
Wait, what? Oh no. Oh no. He is the spider. Someone will like kind of bring up his finger up to the spider. Just like he's like one of his like his index finger can like goes up to the spider and tries to pet the spider.
And then what the spider does is it looks at the hand, it looks at the finger for a second, and then raises one of its arm, and then just touches the finger like an ET moment.
Like the bee bro fisting the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dink. You feel a strange bit of feel a strange sort of kinship from the spider.
Someone kind of looks up at the spider. I like it. I like it.
Speaking of getting all sorts of crazy new stuff, Bram, a package came for you at the Adventurers Guild a couple of days ago, but nobody went out to tell you.
It's your bear.
Should I go out? Should I go out?
Nah, come on down. Follow me. We'll just head on over there. We don't have much else to do, do we?
Nope, not that I'm aware.
Yay! Christmas came early.
Then you guys, as a party, you continue walking down to the Adventurers Guild, and you go in. The secretary, what the hell was her name again?
I don't know, secretary.
Oh,
All right, the secretary sees you guys walking in and just kind of does a little bit of a, she does the thing where she just kind of raises both eyebrows momentarily before looking back at her papers, and you guys just kind of an acknowledgement that you guys are there. And Arthur leads you guys into the meeting room that was in there where you met Torm and two of the other members of the Crimson Drakes. And Torm is just kind of there, still at the map table, looking over a few things. And he looks up and says, good to see Fifth Company made it. I hope I'm not interrupting anything.
All the while, Dave looks at a wall and goes, "Nope."
Good to know. In that case, there is a new assignment for you, but first, Bram, I've got something
Yes.
here for you, courtesy of the High Divinist, Sir von Huntsonne, and he hands you a kind of nicely wrapped parcel. It's wrapped in butcher paper and twine. And
I was expecting Christmas laurel. Christmas. I don't know.
The High
Christmas wrapping paper.
The High Divinist is a simple man, and he hands it off to you.
I open it with relish and glee.
All right, you open it, and out spills a very familiar bearskin, as well as a small written note.
Somebody else read it. I can't read.
I'll read it.
Bram can't read? Nani?
Nah. I'm just messing with you. I'll read it. I'll read it. I'm just messing with you.
Bram's as intelligent as Dave, and he can't read? What the fuck? Right.
Guys, he can't read, but his math is flawless.
Keep asking populous.
You read the note, and he says, "To the members of Fifth Company, I've completed my task as requested by your members, and I'm pleased to inform you that the remixed enchantment took well to the rug. You will find that if you don this as a cape, it'll provide you resistance against most kinds of attacks. However, during a period of rest, you have to will it to provide resistance only to one specific kind of damage. This will usually take the form of willing it to resist blunt weapons, piercing weapons, slashing weapons, or some minor form of magic. I should warn you that there are some caveats to this. First of all, you need to take a brief rest and attune it to yourself and your magical being, as it were, your soul, if it were, in order to actively use it. Secondly, the caveat I mentioned earlier, that it can only provide resistance to one specific type of damage at a time, whereas before, as a fixture, as it were, it was able to resist damage for anybody standing upon it. So regrettably, the enchantment is a little bit neutered, but you will be able to wear it upon you and bring it with you into battle. I hope this is satisfactory, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Literally. I can literally see us working together in the future. Take care. High Divinist, Isaac von Huntsonne. In your magic items, Bram, add Bearskin of Resistance.
Add it to a tuned magical item, right?
Yes, it's an attuned magical item.
Okay, it's already attuned, but okay.
Alright, it's not attuned yet, because you just got it. You still have to take a short rest to attune it, or a long rest.
Okay. So it's not like an armor set that I'm wearing. It's
No, it's an accessory, so
an
it doesn't
accessory.
it doesn't compromise. So it doesn't raise your AC, but if you wear armor, your AC actually gets worse because you're barbarian. You're on armored defense tree.
Okay, I'm gonna add
So,
that
yeah.
to
For those of you
No.
who can't see the Discord chat right now, Bearskin of Resistance. After a short rest, if this item is attuned to you, you must choose you choose one of the following damage types: bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, or magic. You have resistance to that damage type until you choose another damage type during a different short rest. If you choose magic for your resistance, you resist magical damage from cantrips, but not first level spells or higher. So basically, after a short rest, you choose whether or not you want to take half damage from piercing weapons, slashing weapons, bludgeoning weapons, or minor magical attacks.
Okay.
And mind you, it's a cape or a cloak, something along those lines, not an actual bit of armor.
Okay.
Well, that's one bit of business in a way. As for the contract, we've been getting reports of some aberrant livestock deaths off in the northwestern section of the agricultural district outside of town. Farmers there have been reporting the death of various animals for months now in strange circumstances, and for a while it was very boilerplate. It was chickens at first, really. We didn't pay attention till it got larger than lambs, and now a total of 3 cows have been butchered and killed and found dead, apparently, on farmers' properties. We have other teams out at the moment, and they're all on various other assignments, escorting caravans, that sort of thing. And since you're new, we decided that this little bit of investigative work will suit your party well. Your mission is to figure out what on earth is causing those livestock killings and stop it. The reward for this quest is the standard rate for a small assignment like this is 10 gold per member if you complete it. Plus, whatever you get as part of the journey, you are allowed to keep as long as you declare it. So, does that sound up your alley?
Yep.
Yes,
Right.
it does.
At the wall.
Excellent. You're still staring at the wall? All right.
Experimentation in the wizard place kind of knocked a couple of his senses, so he thinks he's staring at a thorn, but he's actually looking at a wall.
Ah, very well.
Mm,
Saruman will kind of stay quiet for at the time.
Very well.
Your face.
The most recent victim of these aberrant livestock deaths is a farmer by the name of Graham Beaufort. He's lost at least 3 of his cows now. From what we've heard from his own lips, he has all of the bodies to show for it. So, head out, speak to him about it, get what information you can from the farming community outside of the walls, and try to solve this problem. Are we clear?
Yes.
All right.
yes.
Then you have your task, 5th Company. Mordecai, if I could get a signature over here.
Yeah.
And Mordecai,
I take out my ink pen and I just...
yeah, you write off basically on this scroll that says 5th Company, and the members herein have taken the contract.
Mm,
And he rolls it up, binds it, and hands it to you, and hands one of the scrolls that you signed to you, and says, "That's your copy of the contract. This one here is mine." And he rolls it up and puts it on his belt and says, "All right, 5th Company dismissed. Do your best work out there. Report back if there's anything interesting."
Right.
Understood.
All right.
Supposed to move out.
And then Dave says bye to the wall and then walks away.
All right, so you guys are just heading straight out of town? Nothing you want to do on the way?
Let's head straight to where the bodies are.
All right. Then you guys basically leave out of the north gate, because that's really the area where you it's kind of the area of town that you know best, and you head out the north gate and basically take one of the winding dirt paths on the outside of the wall to one of the farming communities northwest of the town. And it looks like, have you ever seen French countryside?
No.
Just, it's rolling hills and farmland and that sort of thing. It looks like that. It's just tilled fields, and it looks like the last harvest of grain and vegetables is sprouting up now before autumn comes in, and
okay.
just rolling fields of ripe wheat and like green grass that's just pasture, wooden fences, that sort of thing. And as you guys head out, the scroll that you guys have basically leads you to the address of one Graham Beaufort. And among this small sort of cluster of huts, kind of far to the outskirts of the farming community, where the actual border of the city of Brooksfort proper is, you come across a basically the largest of maybe the surrounding 4 or 5 log cabins. You can see smoke pouring out of the chimney as it is kind of in the later afternoon, approaching evening, and it looks like somebody might be cooking dinner inside. But you guys are basically standing outside of a podunk log cabin.
All right.
There's a door right in front of you. The windows they don't have glass on them, unlike most of the buildings in town. They're just kind of, they've got wooden shutters, but and they're open. And you can hear a sort of the bustle of somebody preparing a meal inside of the cabin. As you walked up, you've seen farmers from the surrounding areas just kind of watching you as you go by, but they just generally go about their business, tending to crops, that sort of thing.
All right, Zarmon kind of like goes up and like knocks on the door.
All right. From the window, you hear, "Just a minute." Not even that much time goes by before the door opens. There's not even like a wooden or an iron handle on or anything. It's all just like carving in wood. And the door opens, and you see a gruff-looking, middle-aged man with a very sort of stony face looking up at you, Zarmon. And he goes, oh.
All right, Zarmon kind of like eyes them like up and down, kind of like.
He's wearing plain kind of peasant's clothes. He's wearing basically a tweed vest, a dirty work shirt and pants, a rope belt, and some simple leather shoes. You can see in his left hand he's got a pair of like gardener's gloves or some sort of equivalent, dirty leather gloves that he's just holding there. And you notice on his belt, not on his rope belt, not just a small pouch, or 2 small pouches, but a sheathed dagger. And he just kind of looks up at you, eyes you. His hair is kind of doing that salt and pepper mid-40s thing, and he's got some 5 o'clock shadow, and he's by no means portly, but he's definitely not like aesthetically in shape. He's kind of barrel chested.
He's got the dad bod.
Yeah, he's got the dad bod, exactly.
All right, someone kind of goes. We're from the Adventurers Guild. We heard about the animal killings, and we're here to examine the victims' bodies.
Oh, and he kind of looks past you to the rest of the party and says, "You don't look like Crimson Drakes."
We're not.
I come up behind Zarmorn and offer to shake the man's hand and say, "Very sorry about my friend here. I'm Mordecai."
"Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mordecai," he says slowly, and he shakes your hand.
The Cloak and Dagger's 5th Company. He said to take on your request, and we're here. I understand that we're not exactly impressive looking, but I'm confident in their skills as well as my own. You've nothing to worry about.
"That's so," he says with a raised eyebrow. "All right, well, come on in." And he basically leaves the door open and leads you guys inside, and it's a very sort of simple farmer's homestead. The ceiling is not even like 7 feet tall, and you can see in the corner in the corner back end of the room, kind of opposite the door where you guys entered, there's another door leading out to probably the fields, and a ladder on the wall leading up probably into the loft of the house, where no doubt the beds and other important stuff is. The room you're in right now is basically a combination kitchen, living room, and just kind of general area. At the far end, kind of off to the left side of the ladder, you see the only non-wooden part of the structure, a stone or probably clay or mud fireplace that's kind of built as the sole source of heat in the house. And you see scattered around, there's like a wooden table or 2, some chairs, and at the far end you can see, no doubt, Mr. Beaufort's wife cooking. And scattered around the room, there are even 4 children. The oldest one probably not even a boy, probably no older than 10. 2 younger girls, and then a probably 2 or 3-year-old of indeterminate sex, let's say, because young kids like that, they just kind of look like a potato.
What do you call him? Potato.
But he's a very adorable and squishy human potato, basically. But yeah, you basically walked into the middle of this man's family as his wife's starting to prepare supper for the evening, and he walks over and he gestures to one of the tables where there's a bench and a few chairs, and he sits down in his own chair and says, "Take a seat." And there it says, "Brenda, could you pour a little bit more coffee for our guests? Anybody want?"
Dave raises his hand. Yeah, I don't mind.
Alright, Zarmon kind of goes, if you don't mind, I would like to examine the bodies.
Ah, right to business, eh? Well, I can respect that.
It's a bit blunt, this one.
No, it's not a problem.
Zarmon forces a grin.
All right, it looks like everything's back up. Okay, so if I remember correctly, you guys were being led through the house.
A little child stopped with Elmore and was like,
And he's just
"Yo,
like,
it's
"Are you a dragon?"
Zarmon slowly kneels down at the child and awkwardly pats the child's head. Yes, little child thing. I am a dragon.
Before Zalmor stands up, I pat his head. As I walk by, I just pat Zalmor's head.
Zarmon is not amused by that. Zarmon will remember that.
The kid is staring at you starry-eyed. Bram, as you kind of see this happening, you look over at the mother, who's just kind of standing over this pot, range of the fireplace at the moment, and she's just staring at what's going on with a look of basically a combination of amusement and a little bit of worry. You gather, fair enough, strangers in the house, and suddenly he's just suddenly Lizard Man is talking to my kids. You'd be worried, probably.
Alright. Zarmon quickly kind of gets back. He just tells the child, saying school, listen to your mother. How about those bodies we were talking about?
Follow me.
Walks away.
And Graham's already opened the back door and he's waving you out into the fields.
Zarmon quickly gets as far away from the child as possible.
As you walk out,
And as he's going, ugh.
Bram waves goodbye to the kids at the window.
He says you wave goodbye, and the 2 little girls wave, and the youngest one waves, but you suspect that he only waves because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's waving because his big sisters are waving. But you guys head out to the back fields of Mr. Beaufort's property, and he leads you further northwest into the pasture where, cattle are grazing. You can see he's got easily 7, 8, 9, 10 cows. This is actually the fact that he has this and only a small sort of as you walk out the back of the house, you notice that there's a small, by comparison, sort of vegetable garden and fenced off area that's reserved for grain. He's very much a specialized sort of beef farmer. Maybe, and these are Holstein cows, so you suspect he's a dairy and beef farmer, and he's done pretty well for himself for just an agricultural worker. But he leads you out to the far northwest corner of his pasture, where you can see the wooden fence starts to buttress up against the forest that is kind of omnipresent outside of the cleared lands beyond the walls of Brooksfort.
Omnipresent.
And even from this distance, you can see a massive quadrupedal shape on the ground, on its side, and there is a kind of a haze of black over it as you approach. And as you get closer, the wind kind of picks up, and you can catch the smell drifting, and oh yeah, that's rancid. Ugh. The smell of just rancid, sun-cooked meat, beef, just drifts over towards you. And he stops about 15. He stops about 15 feet away from it and says, "There it is."
Alright, Zarmon kind of that smell kind of hits Zarmon.
And you're used to it. There's
Yeah,
there's definitely worse in
and he's
nature.
like, yeah, there's something nostalgic about it, but I'm gonna worry about that part later. Zarmon, just thoroughly examines the body.
All right, you walk up, and the first thing you notice is that there's just this haze of omnipresent black flies drifting over it, going all over the corpse. So this is definitely a fresh kill. Roll either investigation or perception.
All of
Okay.
us, or no?
It just hit. Oh, he's the only one who said he's approaching to examine right now.
Ah,
I will as well.
Tell you what, isn't your favorite enemy beasts?
Yes.
Uh, does having that give you any sort of bonus on this, or?
I don't know. You tell me, Mr. DM man.
Well, it's on your character sheet. Go to the second page and see like what benefits you get from specifically dealing with beasts.
When selecting a favorite enemy, I also learn one of the languages it speaks.
Okay, does it say it should? Does it say like
wisdom survival checks to track and intelligent check to recall info about them.
okay? Then this doesn't really apply because it's not a survival test. Okay, so just roll perception. 15.
Ah, wait. Okay, yeah.
All right. Well, first things first. It's plain to see is that the that the whole chest cavity has just been torn open, which is, well, that's a few things can be taken from that. But when you go over it, you see that when you go to the head specifically, just kind of hoping to get out of the just trying to get out from downwind of the creature, you see that there aren't any eyes in the sockets anymore. Not rotted out, but it looks like, from what you can see, it looks like they've been plucked out, and there's scarring around the eyes as well. And with that thought, you open the mouth, and yeah, there isn't a tongue either.
It's a chupacabra.
Alright, I would like to examine it even further.
Well, the scarring around the eyes is triangular, inverted. It's an inverted triangle specifically. So it's like flat on the top, and then it comes to a point on the bottom, scarring around both eyes.
Do I make any sense of it?
What are your skills?
In what?
No, just what skills do you have trained?
Survival, stealth, perception, and athletics.
Okay, then it looks like a triangle. It's a very specific shape for something that was just trying to like take out the eyes, but you can't make any specific heads or tails of it.
Alright.
can I do perhaps an animal hand check?
You'd have to do that
Not
on
an
a,
animal anymore. It's
I can't do it on a dead animal. Never mind.
yeah.
It's not an animal, Peter. It's a corpse.
It's not a corpse,
Hey,
Peter. It's a
Peter.
tumor.
DM,
Yeah.
Dave eyes the body and takes a look at the triangle thingy on the.
Yeah, you see the triangular marks.
Try and see if I can get some semblance of what it might be.
What are you trained in?
Deception, history, medicine, stealth, and thieves' tools.
I'll tell you what, roll a history test, actually.
Okay, yeah, that was my idea. It's like maybe something like good. All right.
It baffles me that you know history and not arcana.
He's a weird wizard.
Hey, I'm a weird wizard. All right, don't fucking judge me. Plus.
Let's see, what do we get? Ooh, nice.
18. Historically, an inverted triangle has usually been a symbol that is associated with monstrous races, like goblins and kobolds that you've encountered. It's also usually associated with armies or cults that historically worship some sort of nether plane, such as the Nine Hells or the Abyss. That's all you can gather from that. There's no specific markings that you can see that would suggest that these triangular markings are anything more than just a convenient triangle, but I mean, that's what you know just based off of history, that monstrous races and anybody associating with the demonic or the fiendish use inverted triangles.
The eyes are the only things gone, right?
The tongue as well. And there's just giant gaping like chest hole in his chest that is, now that you notice it, it's kind of lacking in organs.
So organ harvest as well.
Zarmon checks for any sort of like mucus or like anything that doesn't really belong to the cat. Anything that doesn't really shouldn't be there.
Roll an investigation test.
Anything that doesn't really shouldn't be there.
Gotcha.
It doesn't really shouldn't be there.
Well, it looks like
No
Zarmon and
pause,
Dave
no hesitation.
Zarmon and Dave are
Language
taking the
is
lead.
not Roman's strong suit.
Oh man, this is
What are
gonna
the
be
other three doing? Elin, Mordecai, Bram. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to discuss the nature of the whole situation with Mr. Graham.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask him, regarding these kills, have you heard them happening or anything that indicated them happening or did you just wake up one morning and find the bodies?
Woke up one morning, found the bodies. Every single time it seems to have happened at night. Only this time around I heard it. I woke up in the middle of the night. I looked out the window of the loft, and I could see it even from all the way out there. Poor girl was getting torn apart by some sort of furry animal. It looked kind of like a wolf from a distance, but I couldn't really tell. Might have been a fox. Big fox, if it was.
Dave ponders to himself, given the fact that there was a missing tongue and triangular incisions in the eyes, and also potentially missing organs. Could it have been like perhaps maybe a nearby cult that's been raiding and hiding out somewhere?
You put a pin in that real quick. Elin, Bram, what exactly are you two doing?
What can I find out?
Is the druid just standing there like dead animal? It happens.
Yeah, man.
The circle of life.
Bram is looking for tracks. Any signs of animal activity around the body, or just any kind of information that might point us to how the animal did its kill. So like if it stalked its prey or if it charged at its prey. Looking at animal tracks really.
Okay, roll a survival test then.
Sure thing.
And Elin is just kind of standing off to the side doing nothing.
I said, let me go up to the corpse and check it out like everyone else is.
All right. Pick perception or investigation and roll.
13.
All right.
Dang it.
All right.
You said perception or which one?
Investigation. Pick one of the two and roll.
All right.
For the 6 that you got, Moran, on investigation, looking at the body, it's been in the sun for maybe a day or two. What fluids there are in this body are, as far as you can tell, perfectly natural and absolutely disgusting. Like, yeah, there's mucus. Yeah, there's awful. It's awful. It's kind of like this has just been dry baking in the sun for 2 days. If there's any fluid there, then it's part of the natural process. You can't really tell much. With your survival, Bram, you managed to see on the other side of the fence there are definitely paw prints in the ground. And it looks like, judging from the marks in the mud kind of at the base of the fence, you can't really paint a clear picture, but it looks like whether or not he was stalking or specifically hunting well, actually, with a roll that high, you can see that there's no real marks in the grass kind of inside the pen to suggest that it was maybe attacked in the pen and then dragged here. And judging from the marks on the outside of the fence, it looks like maybe whatever was hunting this thing was lying in wait for it to get this close and then leapt out and attacked and maybe like pinned it up, like grabbed it and pulled it against the fence or pinned it up against the fence somehow before it fell, because this body is literally right up there at the northwestern corner of this fence. What were you rolling, Elin? Perception. Yeah, for a moment you don't even notice that there's triangular marks on the hollow eye sockets, and like the tongue is gone before this armor goes. It's right there, stupid. Like, you don't notice much.
I'm looking at it going like, it's a dead cow.
Yeah, Elin's just, yeah, exactly. Like, Elin's just blasé and, like, druid about it. Circle of life. Back to Mr. Beaufort. He's saying, looked like he's talking to Mordecai as you guys are investigating. He says, looked like maybe a wolf, something like that, hunched over. I went to get my lantern. I went to get my knife in the night, and I went out to try and find the thing. And By the time I got out there, it had already leapt over the fence, left the body behind. Didn't really want to drag it, so I went back into the house because poor girl was already dead. By the time I got up in the morning, it was like that. And he points. He specifically points to the very hollow chest cavity.
And have you lost any other livestock in this manner?
2 other cows, similar way, about a week apart each. They're always. This is the only kill that I ever saw. Why does he have a southern drawl? He was completely different before. This is the only kill I ever saw. The other 2 died at night, and I got up in the morning and found them much the state you see. Poor old Bessie here. Aside from that, there are other. Begging your pardon?
You said that when you got up in the morning, it was like this.
Yes.
And but when you went to go see the body at night, was anything different?
Well, it was fresh. You could see some of the guts spilling out. It was nighttime. My lantern wasn't really that bright. Didn't see any details. Why? It was a dead cow. As far as I know.
Look, I turned to the others who were inspecting the body and say, "We got anything over here?"
Well, says Dave as he raises a finger. According to the books I read back in the heydays when I was in school, based off of like some visions in the eyes as well as some of the other missing contents, I might I'm thinking cultists, maybe in the nearby woods that might have done this, primarily because of the biggest tipping point being the triangular incision in the eyes.
We see. I'm gonna head over and take a look myself.
Zarmorn stands up and basically tells you it's a corpse. There are triangle marks around its eyes. A little odd, but it's a corpse is a corpse. Missing the tongue, missing the eyes.
Given Dave's suggestion of cult behavior, can I just inspect the spot it's been killed on to see if there's any indication of it being like symbols drawn or like is there blood smeared in the grass and like particular patterns or anything?
What skills are you trained in?
Have Arcana, Deception, Intimidation, and Sleight of Hand.
Okay, roll either an investigation test or an Arcana test.
Arcana, I will accept. That's a 17 plus my 5 is 22.
Wow. Okay. First things first. First thing that comes to mind is you've seen the inverted triangle much in the same context that Dave has, but particularly in the context of devils and demons. There are several evil gods of monstrous races that use the inverted triangle sort of as the basis for their symbol. One of them is Grumsh, the god of orcs, and the other one is a fiend of the abyss called Yinogu, who is the god of gnolls. And more specific, the thing that gets you, and this is sort of a religious thing that you incidentally know about, is that Yinogu's gods have various sort of symbols, like Pelor, the god of the sun, obviously a sun disk or an emblem of the rising dawn. Avandra, a winding line to represent the roads or the wind or something like that. One of Yinogu's symbols, or one of his sort of fetishes in the material world, is the eye. So the fact that... Thank you. The fact that there's an inverted triangle drawn specifically over hollow eye sockets leads you to think that maybe this is a Yinogu-ish calling card.
Grumsh also has an eye-based symbol, doesn't he?
He kind of does. In fact, a lot of evil gods do. There's the Eye of Grum. Well, more specifically, this is more of a religion thing. You specifically know that Yinogu, the calling card for Yinogu is hollow eyes with a triangle. Grumsh, triangle around the eyes, sure. And maybe even, you've heard there's something that has to do with the god of secrets, Vecna, and eyes, or uneye, but that's religion. That's religious hokey pokey that you don't really know about. This is specifically Arcana, and ritualistically scarring the eyes for a spell or as a message from Yinogu kind of makes sense, but you're not really trained in religion, so you don't know all the details. There is some ritual significance to the inverted triangle around hollowed eye sockets, though.
Hmm.
I stand up and just kind of like I'm mulling it over for a second before I say, any other ideas? Stop that.
Zarmorn is hiccuping.
Zarmon kind of like joins Bram. Since
I think we might want to check any nearby woods, see where someone might be hiding.
Alright, so
Can I roll any sort of check to determine if
Go
if
ahead.
it's related to my related to the god, the orc god? What stat do I use?
If you're, to see? Well, here's the thing. Mordecai hasn't
Oh,
shared any. Mordecai hasn't told you guys any of this. He's
Oh
just
shit! Okay.
or did he? He kind of cut out for me.
You didn't say I did, no.
Okay. From
Okay.
my end, you just said any other ideas.
No, it's okay. No.
I mean, as a half orc, you've heard of Grumsh and you've seen sort of similar tribal paintings to the triangle around the eye, but for Grumsh, never anything with hollow eyes. There's always an eye in there. This doesn't look like Grumsh.
I think you three, and I gesture to Bram, Zarmorn, and Ewan, who, if I recall correctly, are all out.
Yeah.
I think the three of you should take a look in the nearby woods. See if you can find any dens, any sort of animal dens or hideouts for people.
right, Zarmon tries to track. He's tracking.
All right.
Tracking whatever.
Roll a survival test then to track. Well, actually, Bram, Zarmorn looks like he's about to head into the woods to track. You're really the only one who's actively looked and found the paw prints on the edge of the forest.
Yes. So I join him, or
I mean,
about the paw prints I saw?
Told me that it does exist.
yeah, remember, because if nobody else was looking for it, then you didn't notice the marks around the eyes until Zarmorn pointed them out. So he hasn't been looking for that shit. You've seen the tracks though.
All right. So I tell the group I see the tracks coming, starting around the fence. Seem to be heading into the woods.
All right. So using the tracks as a basis, you want to try and go into the woods. Okay. Roll a survival test. Fortunately, this time without disadvantage. Nice. That's good because if Bram hadn't pointed those tracks out, you would have been at disadvantage to try and just go in the woods and find something.
Yeah.
So,
alright, Zarmon gets on all fours and starts sniffing the tracks.
Smells like shit.
And just
no, literally, it smells like the footprints. The scent is faint, but it smells terrible. And you start following it into the woods. Are you going alone?
I just keep going. I don't care what the rest of the group are doing.
All right, Zarmor's heading off into the woods like a dog on a trail.
Like a bloodhound.
Like a bloodhound, exactly.
Or you can say,
Oh, shit.
Zarmor heading off into the woods alone. You are going through the underbrush. Are you just following the trail, or how are you going about this?
He kind of like tries to like keep on the trail while simultaneously kind of like every little bit, like he walks a little bit, stops, and just kind of like looks around for anything else.
All right. Well, good news is you're hot on the trail. Roll perception.
Come on, give me something good. Ah, fuck.
Oh dear.
I guess shit. The smell of shit made my eyes water.
Well, okay. So Zarmorn heads off into the woods, and nobody follows him. It seems. What are you guys doing back at the farm?
Dave's looking around, seeing, what he could find in the surrounding environment.
Dave, there really isn't much. Well, actually, roll perception.
So are four of us still on the farm while?
Yeah, and so nobody followed Zarmorn into the woods.
Okay.
Is nobody gonna follow me?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Dave is just kind of, like, as you guys are Mordecai, what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna get Dave's attention and talk to him, but
All right. Well, you find that very difficult because he is very interested in the sort of corner of the fence. Just like, yes, there are marks here. This means something.
Hmm.
And you glance over his shoulder and there's nothing there. It's a fence. It's a wooden post.
What happened to it?
It occurs to you that wooden post might actually be smarter than Dave.
Hmm.
That's probably true.
See, what happened to this? The senses, my senses are still, Dave's senses are still like out of whack from his experimentation major skill. He's still a little woozy from having his head knocked around.
He's still high.
He's high on life.
Oh, yeah.
Bram, Elin,
Where does Zarmon go?
he went into the woods, literally right in front of you.
Hmm.
Just watch me get on all four.
Okay. I break into a sprint to try to catch.
All right, roll. Well, no, you can kind of easily just sort of run through the woods. Elin?
I could.
You know, I think I'll do what Dave's doing and like kind of look around the farm a bit more, see if there's anything else.
All right, roll a perception test.
14.
14? Well, aside from the fact that the eyes have been pointed out to you and that you're looking around and something occurs to you and you guys actually see wild child Elin just kind of get on her hands and knees and just sticks her head into the chest cavity of this thing. And
Oh.
here's the thing, like it's the front of it is just kind of ripped open, so the rib cage and everything is just kind of open for you to see, kind of like the kind of thing you'd see hanging in a butcher shop, like
or like in a meat locker.
or like in a meat locker, except it's just on its side and it's a cow. You just guys kind of just see Elin just stick her head into the hollow remains of this cow, and it's only then that you guys are just like, what the hell are you? Oh. Yeah, there isn't a heart, there isn't lungs, there isn't a digestive tract. The whole inside of this cow has basically been hollowed out, and all the meat is still like. That's the thing that baffles you, is all the meat and all the fat, all the like stuff that a carnivorous animal like a wolf or a fox would eat is still there. Just the organs, the eyes, the tongue, that's gone. If we don't have anything else, cutting back to Zarmorn. Zarmorn, you're just kind of astride the path that you found, slowly tracking through the woods, and you stop occasionally to look around to make sure that you're not disturbing anything. You don't know. You look up and around, and the woods here are kind of like interspersed with bushes where they can grow, where they get enough sun. And so not only that, but the canopy's kind of low, though the trees aren't really that thick. It's a very young forest comparatively. So there's a lot of like low-lying brush and a lot of a definite lack of visibility close to the ground. So that's makes it all the more surprising when you're looking among the leaves and you see not only a patch of them is a very sort of washed out grayish green as opposed to the, color of leaves kind of in the mid to late summer, but you also see among that patch a glistening black orb that you recognize as an eye, just kind of staring out of a bush maybe 15 feet off to the left of the trail, and you're kind of off to the right side of the trail.
So it's just an eye staring me down.
Yeah, you just basically see there's something staring at you in a bush 15 feet away.
So it has already spotted me, right?
It can see you, and you can see it.
Can I check what it is?
You can't see from this distance. In fact, the fact that you even saw this thing's kind of a miracle, because it rolled that badly on stealth. Remember, you rolled a 6 for your perception while you're tracking this, so you're just kind of there like...
Alright. Has it noticed that I've noticed them there?
You can't... Well, if you keep staring, then it might clue in a moment.
Alright, so he kind of like pretends like he didn't see it, and like tries to slowly get closer.
To the bush?
Yes.
All right. How exactly are you doing that? Like,
So he pretends like he's like tracking, like going, like he's just like following the track. And
the track goes off like perpendicular to this bush. If you try to follow the track, then you're gonna be walking away from it, basically.
ah. Okay, so I pretend like I'm uh I'm pretending like I'm following the track, but not the actual track. I'm just like trying to get closer to the bush.
All
By
right.
acting like I'm following the track,
Mm-hmm.
and when I get close to the bush, I jump in and try to grab whatever inside, like try to surprise attack.
All right. Roll a deception test. And just to keep in mind, as he's doing this, you can vaguely hear the sound of crashing brush from where you came from as Bram just barrels through the woods coming after you.
Rolling. 10.
Shit, that was off the table. You make it 5 feet closer, trying to like be nonchalant about it, and in a moment, you kind of take your eyes off it to keep up the ruse, look down at the ground, and be like, yes, these tracks are made out of tracks. And as you look back up from just a moment of that, the spot where the eye was is gone.
Can I see what direction it went?
Nope.
A little bit frustrated with himself. Norman goes back to the original tracks and tries to follow it.
All right. At this point, Bram, you basically crash through to this small clearing where you can see Zarmorn. Well, he's looking at something in the ground. You haven't exactly looked for tracks, but...
As Bram comes barreling down, like Zarmon just turns to go, shh! Keep it down, you big tree. You gotta scare away whatever is around here.
Sorry.
Like, keep it on the down low. I think somebody's watching. I saw something in the bushes earlier. I think they're kind of like lurking about. So keep your eyes peeled for anything, like eyes in the bushes, any noises. Just so keep your
Bram's eyes dart around.
and like he kind of goes like, do you know where the rest of the crew is? Are they gonna show up? Alright, I guess it's just me and you then.
You actually are tracing them fairly well, but it reaches a point where you start to see the tracks are getting a little bit circuitous and difficult to follow. Like at one point, you come across this small little puddle that's just sort of in the middle of the woods, apropos of nothing, like a mini pond of some sort that the tracks go through, and then you assume they become faded on the other side, as if whatever's doing this is specifically trying to cover its tracks. Roll another survival test to keep following.
I think I'll assist Zarmon.
Okay, then Zarmorn, you have advantage on that survival test, so roll a second d10 or 20.
Oh my god!
13.
Worse.
13. Yeah. On the other side of that pond, you lose the trail. You can barely pick up the smell. You can't find any specific tracks in the ground. Whatever made these tracks it covered itself pretty well, but that in itself sort of tells you something. If it knew to do this, then it's not some fox or wolf or something like that.
Like Zarmon's like, okay. Zarmon kind of like turns. I'm like, damn, lost the track. But it looks like whatever it is that's trying to cover up its tracks. I think it knows, whatever it is, it's not just some sort of animal. Whatever it is, it knows someone might be after it.
Got more brain power than Dave.
Not saying a lot.
As Zarmon kind of like turns to Bram, it's like, I think whatever it is, it's gonna be dangerous. It's a dangerous one.
Hello?
Yeah, no, go ahead. You're role playing right now. You're talking.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, Bram.
Hey.
Hello, Bram. Any input you want to add?
Oh,
Did you hear any of that?
I don't know.
Zarmon guys started like talking to a tree.
It was at this point Zarmor realized he was, in fact, talking to a tree. Bram was several meters in the other direction.
Well, shit.
Not again.
Not again.
Again.
Not again. God damn it. It's like the 5th time this week. Also, why
Zarmorn
does
wasn't that great of a hunting partner, was he? He just kept talking to trees. That's why he only got 2 boars.
Or,
Try to get a
also,
better
why
view.
does this tree have a javelin?
Okay.
Armor kind of like follows the tracks back, kind of like trying to remember like what directions. Actually, no. Before we head back, someone decides to kind of like scour just like the surrounding area, see if he finds anything.
Roll a perception test.
Oh my god!
Wow.
You are
Okay.
man.
Shut up.
Zarmorn just kind of. Have you seen a meerkat? Just kind of stand up and look around on its hind legs.
No,
That's the
yeah.
limit. That's the limit of Zarmorn's like check of this area. He just kind of straightens up, looks left, looks right. Well, shit, I can't find anything. Nothing here.
Alright.
Okay.
I had enough of this.
Can I roll a perception check?
Yeah, you can if you want to take a look around as well.
Sure.
Be my guest.
Not much better.
Yeah, you're not seeing anything yourself. God, these rolls are terrible. You try to be a little bit more thorough, but yeah, you don't pick up on anything specific.
Because Bram is excited. He needs glasses.
But you guys follow the trail back to the others.
Yeah, so while Dorman is kind of like going back, he tries to make sure that he kind of keeps in mind like what path they're taking.
All right. I mean, you lead them. You can lead you guys back to the fence, no problem. While they're doing that, Elin, Dave, and Mordecai, what are you three more civilized folk doing?
Idiot.
Sure you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering, could I get Bob to like just inspect the surrounding? Because clearly Dave doesn't have any semblance of perception.
See, Bob kind of figured it out from the very start, but since he only speaks to Spider,
Well, here's the thing about having a familiar is that having a familiar means not only can you communicate telepathically with your familiar, but you can also take an action to basically see as they see from their perspective.
Dave isn't that smart.
He's smart enough to think of it. That's why he asked me just now. Problem is, spiders don't have great eyesight, and most of their perception is actually like vibration based, tremor sense, that sort of thing. So, I mean, over the course of like, you can set Dave down or Bob down on the ground and like tap into his senses, but it doesn't really tell you much. There's a reason why trained trackers don't have hunting spiders with them.
Yes, my hunting spider.
This is better suited. This is better suited for a dog or something.
At that moment,
Stand
Dave
back,
thought
or I'll
to
let my attack spider get.
At that moment, Dave thought to himself, "Huh? That's why they don't have spiders in hunting parties." Does that make sense?
The more you know. Ding, ding, ding.
Mordecai, you just watch the wizard of the party put his spider on the tracks, focus for a moment, and then just shrug.
The best kind.
Have the others returned yet, or?
This is what's happening while they're out in the woods, like having their whole debacle.
Oh, wait. Dave goes and asks Mordecai if there's any cult nearby.
Does it? Do I?
As far as Mordecai knows, not really. Like, the town is 2 years old, and the only visible and strong religious presence is the Church of Avandra.
Wait, not. Only religious folk I've seen in the area is the Church of Avandra.
Gotcha.
Like, the town is way too young to have much of a criminal underbelly, much less a cult hiding beneath it.
Dave, you're probably just crazy enough to consider this with me. Do you? I've studied a fair bit of lore in my time. I say as though I'm old, but my point is, I think with the inverted triangles and the hollow eyes, and Mr. Beaufort's description was of a hunched, dog-like animal. I think we might be dealing with gnolls here.
The hell's a knoll?
You know, big hyena things, intelligent, technically.
Okay, yeah. That would make a lot of sense, I suppose, in this given situation. Like,
Spawn of Hinogu. They're from the abyss, or so the stories say.
how dangerous are they?
Imagine a hyena the size of a man that walks on its hind legs. Ramshackle weapons and armor. And, no mortals to speak of.
So a demon dog,
Pretty bad. Yeah.
which I don't believe in. Got it.
You don't believe in demons?
No, I don't believe in dogs.
Dave, you know what? I'm just going to let you figure that one out for yourself. Dylan,
Yeah.
you, I don't know, sense anything? Your magic hippie nonsense?
Magic hippie nonsense.
Roll either an intelligence test or a wisdom test, Elin.
Guys, don't worry, she's got the essential oils and healing crystals.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw them at you.
Beans you with quartz. Get your chakra back in order.
Be one with nature.
Experience tranquility, bitch.
Let me just do the roll with
Inevitable.
wisdom. I'll do the roll with wisdom.
All right.
Don't I have fairy fire?
You have the. I think you gave Elin the scroll of fairy fire,
I
but
have the scroll.
That reveals things.
Does it?
fairy fire as a spell points at an area and prevents anything. Basically, makes every creature in that area glow, so that they don't benefit from concealment.
Wisdom, right?
Wisdom, yeah.
I ain't smart.
You're just sitting there.
Oh, goodness.
Elin's just kind of. Elin, you're just like. Nope, you don't got any magic hippie nonsense to deal with this. Roll an intelligence test now, please.
Please.
Let's see. Oh no.
Because, I mean, if you guys were thinking of this, then I'm just sitting here like, you have the tools and everything, but...
3.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh my goodness.
My brain don't work today.
Wow.
Bum, bum, bum.
He's just... Elin's, like, at this point in time, Elin is still looking around inside of the chest cavity of this thing, and as she comes out, just the blood rushes to her head, and the fumes from the corpse just kind of... Fuck. She's just like, ugh.
Listen, I haven't had any ale today. My brain don't work.
Oh, God. Yeah, Elin, you got nothing. You're not picking up any sort of weird, like, just intuitively, you're not picking up on any sort of weird juju with nature or anything like that.
She's
And-
not picking up disturbances in the chakra.
Nature is okay, guys. Don't worry.
You know, I think today's Elon's stupid day.
Listen,
everybody, today
I
is everybody
drink
rules
today.
stupid.
I'm not okay.
Guys, today just everybody rules stupid.
I think it wasn't that one.
This is a simple quest, and all of your rolls have been terrible. Great.
Oh,
He's just like, help.
Elin, suddenly it clicks, based on what you've been doing for the last 10 days. You saw Dave, like, putting his spider down near the tracks, and it's just like, damn, if only we had an animal that could track. Wait a minute. I'm the animal that can track.
Oh yeah.
hmm.
Good guys.
Good job.
Thank you. Alright, gotta figure out a good animal.
I am the animal.
I am the animal, guys.
I am the cure.
Guys,
Turns into a werewolf.
I'm turning into Dave.
Oh no! Stop him! Stop him!
DM,
Yeah?
can Dave change Bob into an owl?
No.
You are.
If you if you take an hour to cast the spell again, you can change his form. Yeah. Alright, that makes sense. Elin, the answer is yes. You can turn into a wolf.
I turn to a wolf. Are they good?
Nice.
Your top 5 options are, and number 1 being the best one, great white shark, lion, grizzly bear, or killer whale, crocodile.
All right.
Become a crocodile.
I think go with the lion.
I think a crocodile sounds good, you know?
You can't.
Turn into a shark.
Remember, you can't turn into anything with
know.
a swim. Okay, I'm just making
know.
sure.
I know.
But do you actually just say, "All right, guys, I'm going to turn into a wolf"? Just
Yeah,
aloud.
like, I just kind of go, I'll be right back. And kind of walk off.
You're a druid. We know what you do in the woods.
You guys have no clue what she's capable of. She's made fire and
You jerk off.
make what?
Wait, what?
I didn't even hear that.
Can we ban Akila's talking privileges?
Why would I mute him when he needs to be?
Good lord. All right, so does Elin just full board just do it right in front of them, or?
Give him the shock factor, yes.
All right, then you guys watch as Elin just kind of leaps over the fence, and as she does, you see her clothes beginning to meld into her skin, and these gray hairs sprout out. Her staff, all of her her equipment basically melds into her, and as she leaps over the fence, and once her feet touch the ground, they are not 2 elven feet, but 4 paws, as a gray wolf stands on the other side of the fence. Mr. Graham sees that happen, steps back, and goes, "Oh, magic, I guess."
At that moment, Dave points at Elam and goes, "Hey guys, look, it's an alligator."
Only Mordecai can see behind that scene. Mr. Beaufort was at once. He looked impressed for a moment, and then Dave said that, and he's just kind of gently shaking his head like, what the fuck have I got involved with? All right, so Elin, you're on the other side of the fence, and you're a wolf. What would you like to do?
I'm going to sniff. There's tracks, right? And we all know about the tracks. Right?
Yeah, Bram pointed them out. So if you're gonna start trying to track, since you're gonna track by smell, roll a survival test. If your skill for survival is higher than +4,
Yep.
then use that modifier, and you're rolling with advantage.
Oh.
Don't worry, it can only go up from there.
Reopen. 14.
19. Thank Christ. Okay, so Elin is on the trail, and she just starts bounding into the woods in wolf form.
Bye, guys.
Yes, we follow. I'm going to follow, but before that, I turn to Beaufort.
Mhm.
And I say, "You might want to stay indoors."
Sure. All right.
At least.
Take care then. And he kind of walks off towards his farm, or towards his home.
And I follow Elin into the forest.
All right, Dave.
Okay. I guess I'll just stay. I guess I'll just stay here with Bob.
Okay.
Lounge around, take a look around. That's about it.
All right. Then cutting back to Zarmorn and Bram, as you guys turn around to start walking away, you see padding up to you in the woods. You made it like 15 feet down the path before you notice Mordecai and a gray wolf walking towards you, following the same trail that you guys are following in the opposite direction.
Alright, so we just wait. Who and a wolf?
Mordecai and a wolf.
So who's in front?
The wolf.
Okay. So Zarbo kind of like steps back like out of the way and just like kind of like looks with a little bit of confusion, like what's going on? Like yells, "What's going on?"
I gesture for them to follow us.
Zarbo quickly follows behind.
All right. Roll. Okay, Elin, you're still following the trail. Roll another survival test with advantage.
Come on.
Holy shit. Okay. Elin leads you guys way off the beaten path. Like, she jumps over that pool that gave you guys trouble, sniffs at the ground, and just she's just bloodhounding it, like occasionally stooping to sniff, but she's just she's a dog on a mission. Just the wolf is just following this path that seems like winding and almost random to the two other outlanders who couldn't make sense of it, and most of the party is following along with Dave sitting back at the farm, not doing anything.
He's playing patty cake with Bob.
All right, as you guys are running, roll perception.
Yeah, I got a 6 plus my 3 is a 9.
Great.
Oh my god.
Wait,
We're all blind.
Yeah, you add your perception modifier.
Most of us are shocked by the fact that there's a wolf right now.
How the hell? Okay. As you guys are moving through the woods, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Just glancing around. Elin, one more survival test with advantage.
Okay. So, 10.
10. Okay.
Right?
All right. So Elin is. There comes a point in the woods. You guys are in the deep woods now. You guys have been traveling into the woods for easily about 30 minutes, following Elin, who's just on the trail. Following this wolf that's on the trail, as far as Bram and Zarmorn are concerned. When suddenly she stops, looks up, looks around, and Elin, you've lost the trail.
God damn it.
God damn it.
So there you guys are. Most of the party just kind of out in the middle of the woods, at the dead end of a trail that your dog has lost. And Bram and Zarmorn, you have no clue what's going on. Who's this dog? Why is Mordecai following it?
It's real rough, you know?
I asked Elin, did you lose it?
Wait, am I able to talk in my wolf form? Or-
No.
You just say wolf.
You-
I
you-
was like,
I guess Elin just kind of, her ears flatten out and she just kind of whines like a dog.
Wait. Now what? Where's Dave? Dave caught up with us?
Dave-
stayed up-
They never showed up.
Dave's playing patty cake with his pet spider next to the festering corpse of a rotting cow. No, of course he hasn't caught up. Want to try something?
You know, no, now that the dog wolf thing has failed us, yes, now the phrase that I said before fit as best as ever. Just saying.
What's going on?
No. Knees, shoulders, heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. Let's kick this dog to bits.
They're gonna hurt me.
You gotta kick the dog.
Someone help.
All right, you guys are just kind of standing there in the woods. The dog looking very sad that it lost the trail. And Zarmor and Bram, you guys still have no damn clue who this dog is. You can come here with a
Zarmon
dog?
Kinda like Zarmon kind of like turns to Mordecai like, "Where'd you get the wolf or dog?
I just kind of start walking into the forest.
Are you just gonna ignore me?
All three of you roll a perception test.
Hold on, don't just walk away from me. Turn back right now and answer my goddamn question. Do you know who I am?
Bram, Zarmor, and Elin, roll a perception test real quick.
Wait, did Mordecai just straight up ignore me?
Yeah?
What the fuck?
I ignore the question. Alright, don't take it personally.
What is the rolls I'm making?
14.
Oh.
I rolled Zarmorn.
Shut up, Dave. You suck.
So sad.
All right. Shit. Oh, thank Christ. Now they start rolling like crap. All right. Map change. Ho. ignore Dave's token there. But you
I mean,
guys.
it's in my own.
That's my token, isn't it?
No, what are you doing? Stop it! Stop! Fucking.
I didn't do anything.
No, I'm talking to Zarmor, and he's running around all over the place.
Can't see
I'm serious. Do you see how the line of sight is working now?
The screen is black for me.
Yeah. Me too.
Oh, right. Hang on. Let me just enable. What do you guys see? A forest trail, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And shadows cast by trees. In our
All right,
distance.
good. I got a subscription to Roll20, so now there's dynamic lighting in the game.
Cool.
So if you move,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Oh, cool. I say.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Ta-da! So you guys are just here on the trail, following Mordecai as he seems to be taking the lead through the woods, when Bram and Doggo Elin suddenly see, kind of in the bushes off to the left,
No. What is it?
there is a small green piece of crap just kind of skulking in the bushes staring at you. A very familiar looking monstrous humanoid. Zarmorn doesn't notice it. Mordecai certainly. Wait, did Mordecai roll?
Oh, sorry. For perception.
Oh,
13 plus 3 is 16.
Alright, then Mordecai's noticed the goblin. The only one who hasn't noticed the goblin is Zarmorn, actually.
Dave wasn't here.
He's still very confused about the dog.
Alright, so you see the goblin and you guys just immediately go into battle stance.
Saw the goblin first.
Everybody except you, Zarmorn, kind of saw it at the same time. Mordecai maybe a split second sooner.
Even Dave?
Dave's not here.
Then why is the token there?
His token was there because I expected the group to go into the woods, but I'm not about to delete it because he won't see what happens.
But I won't see anyways.
Yeah, but do you want to be staring at a dark screen for the next hour?
Fair enough.
So the goblin, when he sees basically 3 of the 4 people he was stalking looking at him, he tries to make a run for it. Everybody who's present, so everybody but Dave, roll initiative.
okay, plus dexterity.
18.
Yeah, I got an 8 total.
Mordecai has 8. Bram has what? My god, Elin, please.
I just died and said I am the Dave of the group tonight.
Good.
Today's a stupid day. So
Is this accurate?
Oh
Shit.
no.
Oh shit.
Roll20 just decided to be an asshole today.
Yeah, tell me about it.
or Dicyrus decided your fates.
Dicyrus decided your fate.
Cyrus. Thanks, Aquila.
Regrettably, the goblin got crazy initiative, so it's
Oh,
his
God.
turn. And he is going to take his action to bolt. Oh shit. He stretch.
I'm strong.
He's just running, taking the clearest path he can, running away. And tell you what, he's gonna dash, so boom. Alright, it is now Zarmorn's turn.
Right. Alright. So is he still in my line of sight?
Can you see him?
Is he here?
No. If you can't see him, he's not in your line of sight. He bolted off sort of over in this
I mean, he's
direction.
over here, right?
Somewhere.
Okay.
Do you want to
Someone
move?
will someone will move over here.
Where?
Here.
Okay. You see that green path through the woods?
Yep.
That's kind of the only path of relatively bare area. Everywhere else is difficult terrain. So if you move into a square that isn't that sort of
Okay.
forest green color,
Do I have a clear line of sight, like a clear shot?
can you see him?
Yes, he's right there.
Okay, he's gonna have partial cover, so that's a +2 to his AC. But you can try to attack him.
I will take out this beautiful moose antler bow, and I will take aim, and I will fucking fire this bad boy.
All right, roll an attack.
That was a d20 plus the hit, right?
Yep, d20 plus your dex plus your proficiency modifier. So it should just treat it as a
strength.
normal attack with your bow.
Okay.
The arrow. You see this tree right here?
Ah,
That's where your arrow goes. Just thunk.
fuck,
Shit.
fuck my life. Can I still move?
How far do you move? 5, 10, 15, let's say 20 feet. Yeah, I think you have 2 more squares of movement.
So like here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move my ass over here.
All right. Bram, it's your turn.
Okay, let's see.
Aquila, I'm sorry, but I didn't expect Dave to miss out on the rest of the adventure.
No, I'm good.
You're
Honestly,
good?
Does that mean he's not gonna gain the XP?
Yep.
Honestly, Dave is getting to know his spider and working through some traumatic issues in his childhood.
Wait, who's be this?
Whom's be what?
This?
What's that?
Did I see it?
No, we don't.
No, I don't.
Okay, it's just me.
What are you? Wait, what are you? How are you seeing anything there?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, Bram. Clock's ticking.
Okay. I'm gonna sprint forward and try to tackle that goblin.
Sprint forward. All right. Let's see.
Yeah.
How far can you move? Like to here. If you want to, like, say, go there and use your action to charge, then
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I want to do that.
All right. Then you move up to where Zarmorn is. You're gonna have to crash through the underbrush here. Make an athletics check.
All right. Excellent. I was waiting.
You've been waiting the whole game to do this.
Yes, I want to do an athletics check.
I guess you could say his body is ready.
I'm gonna stick the landing or fall on my face. No in between. I fell on my face.
As
Just
you,
the entire forest shakes.
the entire forest shakes with a thud as Bram tries to move between these 2 trees, catches his foot on a root, and falls flat on his face.
I'd be impressed.
Out of curiosity, oh shit,
The game crashed.
you didn't take a short rest, so you haven't attuned your cape yet.
Yes.
So you don't have any resistance to this. Okay, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from like tripping and falling on your face.
Okay.
And you are now prone. And that's your action. Mordecai, it's your turn. You just saw Zarmorn whiff and Bram crash through the brush, and then you heard a loud just thud on the ground.
This campaign, everybody is just a hot mess.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
You know, it's funny. The one time Dave is not here, everybody becomes incompetent.
Yeah, dude. We need to, in all of our other campaigns, Dave absorbed all the incompetence, but now that he isn't here,
You need to soak up our bad luck.
yeah, he soaked up all the bad rolls.
Okay, so if I were to go to here, that's 30 feet, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my full speed. I'm gonna move to there then.
Okay.
I'll still attempt to.
There. I thought you were gonna move to like here. There you go.
You've not built this map very well.
I'm trying, dude. Like.
I can't see the goblin where I am, but I know roughly where he is as I pass through. I'm just trying to keep pace.
All
My
right.
entire map is black.
Where he's going.
Oh wait, never mind.
Wait a minute. So you're just.
No, that's good. That's good.
I'm talking to Mordecai here. So you moved. What's your action then?
I think I'm going to. Actually, hold on. Isn't one of the actions like moving again, basically?
Yeah, you can take a dash to move your full speed again.
Okay. So then from here, that would be.
We'll call that 25. We're using the 3-5 rules for diagonals. Every second diagonal you move is at 10 feet instead of 5.
So I'll take a dash to move. Hold on. My mouse got stuck. Okay. I'll take a dash to then move my.
Okay, as you leave this square here, he sees you coming and swipes at you with his spear. Or with his scimitar, I should say. Old rusty scimitar. I take it a 7 doesn't hit you.
Not in a million years.
All right, then he whiffs with his attack. What would you like to do?
Well, I can't. I've used all my moves.
All right, well, you've locked him there. It's around this time. Elin,
Yes, I'm here.
back in the caboose, where
I've been just chilling.
you've just been chilling. You hear a rustle from the bushes next to you as a large.
Oh my god, are you serious?
These guys rolled well on their stealth checks, my
You guys
guy.
see this? Guys, look up. Do you see this?
Yes, I see. Oh my god, that's gross.
Someone
Yeah.
screech.
I'm out
Please,
here.
someone zoom out and get that in. I say, zoom out and get that in camera. In frame.
What is it? I can't tell.
What is this?
It's
It's a
an
gotcha.
it's an okay. It's a gotcha hand.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
Welcome.
I'm gonna get some crackers. I can't fucking deal with this shit.
So, Elin, while you're standing
Did you get
there,
a
Yeah,
screenshot?
I'm
yeah, I
here.
got the screen. I got yeah. So,
Oh shit! Something's coming up from behind us.
yep. While you're standing there, you hear the bushes rustle next to you as another goblin and another creature pop out. The goblin you recognize, but the thing just above you is this giant 6+ feet tall hyena-like humanoid with a dog's head, speckled hide, and in his hand is a very vicious-looking primitive spear. He's got like these ratty hides hanging off his chest as some sort of makeshift armor, and he's got a small buckler on his arm, and he just bares his fangs at you and cackles as he lifts his spear and throws it.
Oh.
That's a 20 against you. That's a direct hit.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? Yeah. Hold on. 'Cause they're still in wolf form, right?
Yes. In that case, you would use the wolf form AC. So,
Oh yeah, then definitely.
okay.
That's a sarcastic laugh of defeat.
You take 4 points of damage from the spear, just slamming into the side. And the goblin south of you is going to fire his bow at you.
Do I use? Hold on. I'd use my own, right? My own.
Keep your hit points as a wolf are 11, so keep track of when you take 11 points of damage in total.
Okay, so how many have I already taken?
You've already taken 4, and I think an 18 is going to hit you.
Yeah.
You, you take 8 points of damage. So what is that in total? 12?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think.
So what are you at?
Well, I had 11 hit points for as a wolf.
So and you've taken 12, so that means you drop out of your wolf form, and the 11 damage carries over into your human form. So you took 12 points of damage is the thing.
12, yeah.
So you're at, if you have 17 health, you're at 5.
I'm at 5. Okay. I'm at 5.
So behind you guys, Elin is just standing there like, oh, there those guys go. And then the bushes explode around her, and like she spouts a spear from one side and a javelin or an arrow from the other, and she just goes back into human form or elf form, and she's just like, ah, not again.
For fuck's sakes.
Meanwhile, at that exact moment, while Dave is playing patty cake, a disturbance echoes through the very fabric of reality as something hits back of his mind and goes, I feel a disturbance and Elin getting shot again.
Roll a d20 real quick. Just a flat d20, Dave.
Okay, sure. Why?
No, I just want to see something.
I was just making
I swear to God.
a joke.
No, I know.
Gonna go with it.
Somehow, cosmically, Dave is stealing your luck. Okay, Elin, it's your turn.
I'm gonna try and make it up to where the guys are.
Okay.
Where everyone else is. Keep myself safe. Someone protect me.
Zarmord, you hear footfalls coming in from behind you, and you look over and you see Elin out of nowhere. You don't know where she's been this whole time, but she's got a spear in one side and an arrow sprouting out of the other. Where do you want to go?
Let me. I'm gonna go. I can't see any of the squares on the screen.
Excuse me?
Move
No,
your
like,
character a little bit around.
Hang on, let me see if I can't make them darker then.
Yeah, for me they're really light.
Boom.
Oh, there we go. I can see. I'm gonna try. Can I move? Like there?
Yeah, you can. That's 20 feet.
I'm gonna move here then. I'm gonna move beside him. Kind of hide myself with a tree.
All right. You can still mostly see the knoll that popped out of the bushes.
Yeah.
And you know this is a knoll. Fuck's fuck's sake, why now of all times, why is Dave gone?
I don't know.
I mean, you guys don't want me around, right? So...
Akila, no, just like
No, we
wander the
need
forest.
you.
Maybe you find us. Just keep wandering the forest.
No, Dave's too busy trying to deal with...
Akila, come on! Okay, Akila, if you don't do anything, you're not gonna gain any experience.
Dave's happy in his little...
Dude, come on. Come on.
Even if he wanted to try to make it to the fight, you guys are half an hour's walk outside of town.
Yeah, exactly. Dave
God damn it, Akila.
Like, Akila's neutered himself for this fight. So, Elin, what would you like to spend your action on?
Screaming cow.
We'll call that a free action.
But I can hear someone whispering.
That's me under my breath. There's something I want to happen, but I can't say it. I'm the DM. I have to be impartial.
Just climbing a tree count.
You can roll athletics to climb a tree if you want.
That's not gonna help me. Hold on.
You still have a perfectly good line of sight to that knoll. I'm just pointing out.
Do I send fire at him? Fire seems to be my strong suit.
Do it. Go for it.
Alright.
I'm sorry, did you say knoll?
Knoll.
What's happening?
Listen, hold on. I'm thinking, I'm trying to think real fast.
Yeah, if this was
You
the
know
real
what?
battle, you would be dead right now.
I'd already be dead. I'm a spear on one side.
If you were from where I was from, you'd already be dead.
Okay, I'm gonna whip out my short bow. Whip it out, and I'm gonna shoot for the knoll.
Alright, roll an attack.
We're gonna see. I swear to God. Dave!
Oh wow.
That you don't even know where that arrow went. God, I hope this doesn't turn into a TPK.
Oh god.
Survivor.
He
Alright,
was in the battle, therefore he survived.
Alright, it's the first goblin's turn. He's going to make his attack against you, Mordecai. Just swing at you. I'll take it as 17 hits. Okay. You take 5 points of damage. That's all. And as a bonus action, he's going to disengage, so he gets to move away from you without taking an attack of opportunity. So he goes. And that's as far as he can move that way. And now it's Zarmorn's turn. Zarmorn, Elin just kind of pushed past you from out of nowhere and shot at something behind you, and you turn around and you go, oh, there's a knoll.
Alright. Zarmon kind of like looks at Elon being like wounded and stuff. Kind of like grabs her and just like pulls her behind him to kind of like keep her from the line of sight. With like, since one hand is holding his bow, the other hand is just like pulling her.
If you want to get in front of her and like act as cover for her, you'd have to step up to this square here.
Can I just like push her out of the way, like pull her out of the way?
Not without spending an action. Like if you just want to use your move to step up to here to get in the way of the thing.
I kind of step in front of her. Grab my bow and cock it. and cock my bow. And take aim for the knoll.
All right, hit it.
All right. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. 14.
Here we go.
That arrow just glances off of his shoulder just barely. If it was just a little bit more to the left, it might have buried in there, but it just slides off.
Okay, Dave, can you just like randomly make throws just to absorb all the bad?
That you've moved and you've taken your action, so unless you want to move out of the way again, then that's basically it for you.
Can I know I have like a...
You still have the rest of your movement speed left. You only moved 5 feet.
Well, yeah, but...
Elin.
Yes.
I think that's it for you, Zarm. Unless you want to move.
Okay.
Anybody else want to do a burning bedroll?
Alright. It's
kind of hearing a voice in his head. He pulls out his bedroll.
Alright, it's Goblin number 2's turn, and he's gonna step up 1, 2, 3 from in the brush because he doesn't really have Elin, you got slight cover from the tree, but he steps through the brush and he goes to fire. Your AC is +2 for the purposes of this attack.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He rolled an 8, so the arrow just kind of digs into the tree next to you from the brush, and you look over, and the goblin's moved, and he's just staring at you with intent. Back up to Bram. You're on the ground. It's if you want to stand up, it's going to take half of your movement speed and your move action.
Of course I'm gonna stand up.
All right, then you
You
stand
can
up.
lay there.
You can move 15. You can move 15 feet if you want, but you're in difficult terrain now.
I'll go make some tea. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, let's see the enemies. Got one here and one here.
Who can you see out of curiosity?
I can see the whole map for some odd reason. Line of okay, I can see line of only this one then.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's. I want to back healing up. I guess I'll move here.
Okay, if you're going to move into this space, that's going to cost you 10 feet instead of 5 because it's difficult terrain. If you want to move the full 15, you can make it to here.
Oh, hello where Mordecai is.
Okay, that's actually a lot easier. So
All the way up to him.
you'd make it to here with 15 feet of movement left because difficult terrain right here.
Okay.
So you step up behind Mordecai then?
Yeah.
All right. And what do you want to do with your action?
I want to rage.
That's a bonus action.
Oh, okay. I guess be on guard or just like kind of overwatch so I don't get ambushed.
All right, so you rage and then you're on guard?
Yeah. Okay, if anything comes out of bushes from like here-ish, I'm gonna ready and
Okay, you'll throw an axe at it?
yeah.
All right. Mordecai, it's your turn.
Delightful. I would like to
Like 2 number 9s.
move to here so I have a clear line of sight to, hold on, Goblin?
All right, that'll be 15 feet of movement to move to there.
Moving to here.
Yeah. Difficult
It's
terrain.
straight. Is it?
Yep, that's brush right there.
Oh, I see. What if I move?
That's the
I don't have do I have to like roll to make it through without falling or something?
No. Bram was specifically charging through it. You can just walk through it, taking the movement penalty.
That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna move to there.
Nice.
And now that I have a line of sight to the goblin, I'm going to peg him with a dagger. Okay. An 18.
That hits.
Yeah, plus the 5.
Don't even bother. That hits.
Damage is a D4 plus 3. I rolled a 4.
So that's 7.
7 damage, yeah.
All right. As he's turning to run away, you throw the dagger with pinpoint accuracy, and it buries itself in the base of his skull, and he just falls over dead. You rolled exactly enough to kill him. Jesus Christ.
Well, if somebody is able to kill something.
Yeah, they are. They're killing me.
All right.
I meant from our group.
That seems to be all I'm doing for now.
All right. Back to the knoll, who sees Zarmorn step in front of his prey, and you see the lips peel back, and you hear the hyena cackle escape its mouth as it pulls out another spear. And
Is Aelin still a wolf right now?
nope, she took enough damage to fall out of her wolf form, so she's
Bro.
yeah. Actually, it takes out a longbow off its back and draws and fires.
Oh shit.
Zarmorn, that's a 22 against AC. Jesus Christ.
I want to say it hits. I'm not sure though.
You take
I'm
9 points
fine.
of damage. I don't know.
That's okay. I have 21 health, so I got what 12 left. 12 health.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Shit.
and he spends his action to 10 feet 20 feet, just kind of inch closer towards you, kind of off the path. Elin, it's your turn.
Ah.
You see Zarmorn just stagger and an arrow sprout from one of his shoulders.
Oh god. Okay. I'm going to... I can hit this goblin, right?
Oh yeah, just fine.
Alright, well, we're going to do the old, produce flame.
Alright, then. You drop one of your hand, instead of taking out another arrow, you just hold it out and familiar warmth and fire engulfs the palm of your hand. Roll a spell attack.
Please. 15.
15 hits.
Thank God.
And I think it's just a d8 of damage, but that's better than nothing.
I always try to trust the flames. D8.
If you rolled a d20 for
I was
damage,
just
that'd be hilarious. Elan's pissed.
She summons forth a Kamehameha.
Okay. Wow. All right. Elin, feeling the same sort of frustration you had back in the mines when you were run through with an arrow and just needed to burn something. You look over at the goblin who's shooting at you. You hold your hand out, and the fire just leaps into the brush, and it's like Willie Pete. It's like napalm in Vietnam. She just throws the fire into the brush, and she just hears incoherent screaming. As the goblin, oh yeah, it definitely, like, these 7 damage from a dagger killed the other guy. So
And just this evil grin appears on her face.
it worked. Eileen's going full Vietnam in the jungle. Jesus Christ. Just dousing people with fire. The guy literally just falls into the brush, burning. All right, Zarmorn, it's your turn again.
Alright, being hit by the arrow, Zarmon's really fucking pissed. So, he casts Hunter's Mark on this dude right here.
All right, let's put a mark on him.
Alright, so what did it do again? Do I roll with advantage?
If I remember correctly, Hunter's Mark means you kind of just supernaturally know what direction he's in for about an hour.
Okay.
And you add a d6 to any damage you deal against him with an attack. Yeah, you don't have to worry about perception or survival unless he runs away, but the gist of it is if you attack him and you hit, then you add an extra d6 of damage when you hit with a weapon attack. Doesn't have cover.
Alright, here we go. 19.
That hits. Okay.
Yes! Okay.
What's your strength modifier?
Plus 2.
Okay, so with a compound bow, when you roll damage, you roll a d8 for the regular weapon, and you double your strength modifier and add that. So it's a d8 plus 4 plus a d6.
15.
Fuck. Yeah, this is why rangers get awesome at level 2. Okay, that knoll takes... You pull back on the bow, and you can feel the workout just from using this thing. You just... And with the Hunter's Mark on him, you can just sense this, like, nugget of magical energy just sitting...
I thought he was the nugget.
It's just sitting at the center of his chest, and you treat that as a bullseye, and you just... You let go, and you can feel the air being displaced by the bow as you fire. The arrow sinks straight into the gnoll's chest, just the same way, much the same way that arrow hit Elin in Copper Knight Hold in the mines, and it stumbles back, and it doesn't look happy.
Ooh.
Bram.
Neither am I.
Unless you want to move, Zarmor, it's Bram's turn.
Turn into a tree.
No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay. Bram?
I have a line of sight, I think, there, right?
Barely. Zarmorn's kind of blocking it, but...
I'm going to ready a javelin and throw it.
Ready? So you're going to throw it, or ready it for him to do something?
No, I'm going to throw it. Throw a javelin.
Roll your attack. He's going to have partial cover on this.
What, is it gonna hit me?
It depends on how badly he rolls.
You better not hit me.
I better not hit you. Yeah.
I'm just joking about the chance of hitting Zarmorn. You can easily just say down in front, and Zarmorn just ducks as part of the attack. Like,
Okay. Before I throw, I yell to Zarmorn and Elin, duck and cover.
Zarmon kind of hears that and quickly like drops to the ground, like not on the floor, just like kneels down.
Okay.
that javelin flies straight and true, but the knoll hears something. You don't know if it understands common or not, but it ducks as well, and javelin flies past it.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, Mordecai, hit it. You look over your shoulder and you see Bram throwing a javelin at something way down the way. I almost don't want to know.
What is this?
I mean, I can, if I move and dash, I can, in theory, just move all the way over to these guys.
Yes.
And is off the path just considered difficult terrain, or is it
Yes.
squeezing past? Oh, okay.
So you would more likely be able to, if you made it 50 feet here, you'd probably stop here. Dave, please.
Sorry, I just saw a meme stream.
No, I know. It's bad enough hearing you laugh when you're here. I don't want to know what you're cooking up without spells to cast.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna move and dash.
All right, where are you gonna dash to?
You know what? They probably got this. Just gonna retrieve my knife from this tier corpse.
Mordecai goes, I think I'll just hang out with Dave.
I'm just gonna retrieve my knife from the corpse.
Okay, and that's Mordecai's turn. For his part, you retrieve your knife. You now have it back. For its turn, the knoll, seeing Zarmorn stepping up to shield fresh meat, basically, he's going to take the 10, take the 20, and he doesn't even have a weapon in his hands. He just lunges at Elin with his mouth.
Good lord, no. Am I able to move? Like, kind of like try and fall over?
You, not really. You better hope he doesn't hit. Oh,
we all know he's going to.
That's a 17 against AC.
Yeah.
All right.
R.I.P. to me, guy.
Shit. Fuck, that fell. You take 5 points of damage.
Well, it looks like I'm dead, guys.
All right, then.
You still have 1 point, don't you?
No,
Nope.
I was at 5.
So the knoll leaps up and sinks its teeth into Elin's left shoulder and neck, and she just kind of falls over. And as it does, it shoves off of her and uses its rampage ability. This is fun.
Fuck.
When a knoll reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack, it can take a bonus action to move up to half its speed and make another bite. So he basically circles all the way around, and you don't have a melee weapon equipped, so you can't take an attack of opportunity, and he bites at you, too.
Fuck.
But a 12 probably doesn't hit.
Wait. Haha, fuck you!
Alright. Then that was his bonus action. Elin is prostrate, prostrate on the ground, dying. Hang on.
My final words will be, fuck you, Dave.
Alright.
Truly honorable.
Oh wow, and it's Elin's turn. Elin, make a death save. Just roll a flat d20.
Okay.
No modifiers.
Alright.
Let's see this.
Please. 19.
Okay. On your character sheet, mark that you have 1 success for your death saves.
Got it.
Alright, Zarmorn, it's your turn.
Okay, if I try to grab her and run away, would that give him an opportunity attack?
Oh, definitely.
Ah, fuck. Alright, still pissed out of his mind, he coils his bow for another attack.
In melee range? Okay, warning. Making a ranged attack in melee range not only suffers disadvantage on the attack roll, but the enemy you're attacking, and anybody next to you for that matter, gets an attack of opportunity.
Do I have time to equip my short swords?
Yeah, you can drop your bow and pull out a short sword as part of a short sword attack.
Just one of them?
If you do both, yeah, just one of them for now.
Okay. Alright, well, Zarmon will toss his bow to the side and immediately pull out one of his short swords, and he will attack. And here we go.
Yeah, that doesn't do much for you.
My rolls are extra shit today. For the one time I actually hit him.
You swing, and he just lunges back from. Basically, he just snapped at you and missed, and you just drop your bow as a reaction to that. Pull out your sword and swing, and he sort of leaps back from all of his fours, and he's back on both feet, and he's just staring at you. Bram, you've now seen the knoll sort of sidle around from the side. You've got a clear line of sight on it, and it occurs to you, Elin was there. Oh shit! Also, since you weren't attacked, the round after, well, actually, yeah, but that was you. You entered a rage, and then and the next turn you held your action to throw a javelin, and you never did. And you never took damage, and then the next turn you attacked. So you're no longer raging. That's one of your 2 rages for the day. That's just kind of gone. But you can see the knoll. He's right there, and his back is to you.
Okay.
Throw a potato down his throat.
That's a good idea. Yep.
I mean, can't we just finish it tomorrow?
I mean, it depends on what everybody's schedule is, but we can save it for this coming Friday.
I kind of thought that we were gonna do it tomorrow.
All right, yeah, roll damage. That attack definitely hits.
Thank God.
Yeah, let's see.
Bram, kill him.
Not quite.
Raisin Bram.
Not quite.
All right, then you throw the javelin right into its back, and its back arches because it's standing on both its feet, and it sends out a howl into the air, a howl of pain, but it's still standing. It stumbles a little bit because it looks like it's right on death's door, but that was a good hit. You want to move, or is that it?
I'm gonna move back a bit. How much?
That's.
I'm gonna move near more.
You gotta move away from it?
Well, I have the range to keep throwing.
I mean, it's still pretty far away.
All right.
Yeah.
We have a bleeding elf over there.
He can't actually see her. The trees are blocking it a bit.
No, I can't do anything either.
Cowards!
All right. And I think the only guy trained with medicine is playing patty cake in a field.
Nice.
The one time we really need, the time we need you, Dave. You have failed us.
You failed us all.
All the while Dave's thinking to himself, I wonder how the other guys are doing. They're fine. They don't need me. Let's slow them down.
Mordecai, it's your turn.
Is this battle seriously still happening?
You can still hear sounds of struggle off to the west.
Right.
Here. 5 feet. That's another
5.
Goes to rate, right? So that'd be what, 20?
That'd be 20, but you have to end it outside of his space. So that would be 25 if you go here. And then let's call that. You can't. That would be your second diagonal, so you can't really move. You can't really move here. You could move here if you wanted.
That's on the path still?
Yeah, that's on the path. So that would be your 30 feet.
If I were to move there,
you'd have line of sight to the knoll.
The Mordecai would know that, but take it. So I'll move there, and I want to throw a dagger.
All right, hit it.
It's a 10 plus 5 is 15.
You just barely hit.
Oh my god.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it doesn't have cover from any of those trees, and you don't even have to roll damage. It's on 1 hit point. So.
Can I roll anyways?
Go ahead. Let's see how brutal this is.
another 4.
Total of 4.
No, I mean, I rolled a 5-4 plus my 3 is 7.
Okay, then as it's howling, it like straightens back up and it looks to you, Zarmorn. Or no, it turns around and looks back at Bram, who made that javelin sprout from his spine, and he like growls and as he unleashes that growl, Mordecai just throws the dagger right into its mouth. And it just...
But like through the roof of his mouth into his brain or something?
No, literally into its mouth, piercing out the back of its throat, probably severing the spine because it falls like a sack of potatoes.
Ah, come on.
What?
That's in character.
Alright. Zarmon loots the body.
I'm gonna try and retrieve my knife from that corpse.
All right, Elin, make a death save as these two completely ignore you.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, there's nothing I can do, okay? That didn't work out.
14.
All right, that's the second success on your death save. Bram, what are you doing?
I don't know. Everybody's body here. Can I do that? Or is it already looted?
You can go ahead and loot it. It's kind of standard issue goblin equipment, same as the goblins you looted before. There's a scimitar, there's a shield, and he's got a belt pouch that jingles. Same with the gnoll, actually. Yeah, the gnoll has 16 copper on him.
Alright.
And the goblin that you loot has 18 copper. You guys have that to your inventory. Mordecai, you kind of have to get your hand wet to pull the dagger out.
18 copper.
Leave it for a second.
All right, you look over and you see Elin with 2 sticks poking out of her, just kind of on the ground, reaching for a nearby tree, like very poetically.
Right.
Her arm's just kind of out in that.
What do I have in the way of the fix? The fact that she's dying.
Did you just say, what do I... Did you just say, and I quote, what do I have in the way of fixing the fact that she is dying?
Alright, you gotta open the...
Alright,
You open the front, you open her mouth, check the heart, make sure it's beating.
I'm not trained in medicine, but can I try to stabilize her?
You can make a flat wisdom check to try and stabilize her, yes.
If I fuck it up?
Then she's not stabilized. She certainly doesn't die.
Okay.
What happens if you roll nat 1? Do you end up accidentally stabbing her in the chest or something?
If it's a nat 1, then we'll say that counts as a death save failure for her.
Alright. Ooh, got a 19.
You pull the spear out, you pull the arrow out, you dress the wound as best you can, and you're pretty good at it for somebody who never went to medical school. But she's still unconscious, and you're in the middle of the woods with only a faint idea of where to go.
Alright, so did I just find like copper on the Nor? What's it called?
No, he's got 5 arrows, he's got a ratty-ass longbow, and he's got the 16 copper. Bram, over by the goblin, rusty-looking scimitar, similar plank shield to the one that you looted off the other goblin, and a 18 gold. And a short bow and some arrows.
I would like to skin the Null.
That's gonna take some time, my guy.
Wait, did you say 18 gold? Did you say he had
18 copper.
Oh, okay.
He's a goblin, dude. He doesn't have that much on him.
I know.
He's a rich goblin.
I say we get out of the woods for a bit, regroup with Dave, and take a short rest before we go back in.
Yes.
All right.
Let's go. Let's head back.
All right.
All right. I'll take the wolf with me. Actually, is anybody gonna carry Elin?
I'll do it, I guess.
I can carry her.
Isaiah,
Way over there, aren't you?
when you guys get back to Dave,
Oh.
can I just paint a picture of what Dave has been doing when you guys get there?
Can you what?
Can I paint the picture of what Dave has been doing when you guys get there?
Oh God, sure. But I'm already imagining the fence covered in heads from the Meet the Soldier video.
I'm just imagining like a fucking spider vaudeville act.
Aquila has been like entirely covered in spider web.
And he just does a Tony Stark in Iron Man 1. He's just like, let's face it, this isn't the worst thing you've caught me doing.
The no, like
We
I
find
throw
him
the
inside.
no.
We find him inside the cow carcass, like.
It sounds like Mordecai picks up Elin and is like basically hauling her out of the woods.
Yeah.
I'll toss the knoll over my shoulder.
At risk of sounding indelicate, how heavy is Elin?
She's tiny. She's only like 4'11". I think she's like 100 pounds. Yeah.
Did you roll this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elin is about 100 pounds. Like Mordecai picks her up and goes.
At strength of 14, I think that's.
Yeah, Elin is. Elin's almost.
I'm only like she's only 4'11".
Elin's almost like a child compared to Mordecai, who's standing near 6 feet. For everybody who partook in the fight, add 50 XP.
Right, sure.
Okay. Just before we leave, I look the other goblin as well,
Okay,
then I throw the knoll thing over my shoulder and I take him with me.
All right, you find 10 silver on the other goblin. Then it sounds like you guys make it walk out of the forest. Mordecai cradling an unconscious Elin in his arms. You basically, it's weird. Mordecai actually takes the lead and he sort of follows the path that you guys took to get here backwards, even though you guys were all following that dog, where the hell that dog is gone. Zarmorn, Bram, it's just dog is gone and Elin is here, and you're just like, huh?
Okay. Can Zarmon have a sneaking suspicion that was Elin?
Of course.
She suddenly like disappeared and reappeared.
Yeah, Zarmorn. Yeah, Zarmorn can be suspicious of whatever you want him to be. This is a role-playing game, man.
Well, like, okay, since you told us all this stuff, like, I don't want to have like an omniscient energy.
All right. Then, yeah. A half an hour later, Dave, what have you been doing this whole time?
So currently, there is like therapist chairs where like people like who are in therapy like sit in like and talk to like therapists and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bob the Spider has used this silk to make like furniture, and essentially Dave is sitting on like a long lounge chair next to Bob, who's got like tiny like spider spectacles, and he's like got a spider like notebook and a pen, and so he's essentially looking at Dave. And Dave is just talking seemingly to himself as he looks at this guy going, you really helped me out a lot with this. And he slowly rolls up onto his feet and he pets the spider, takes Bob onto his shoulder and gets up and goes,
And looking up from, you couldn't exactly weave a full like chair. You couldn't exactly weave a full sofa in 30 minutes, but you prestidigitated kind of the phantom image of something soft and cushy, just to like get the feeling across. But as you stand up and you go, that's great. You just kind of look over at the bushes and you see Mordecai with Elin in the princess carry, just like staring at you, with Zarmorn and Bram standing at either of his shoulders, all of them just kind of staring at you, jaw slightly agape, like, uh-huh.
oh, Dave goes, oh, hey guys, how'd the woodsman go?
I toss the knoll in front of him.
Thump.
And it's like, you tell me, where have you been?
Oh god, no, wait, even better. As as you guys are staring at this, you look slightly to the left and you just see Graham Beaufort just with like head propped up on his fist, leaning on the fence, staring at you, and he's just like, he's been like this for 20 minutes, and you just throw the knoll onto the ground, just. Boom.
I turn to the dude and I'm like, well, I think we found what's been killing your cow. And as I throw the knoll in front of the guy, I pull out my skinning kit and I start skin the guy.
All right. You go ahead and do that, and
I head over to Beaufort and I say, "There's definitely more of them. We're going to stop for a moment, and I'm just like hearing Elin.
Drop Elin.
We might need your help. She's injured, and we can't go back in there with one of us at risk."
fair enough. You can use our loft to rest in. Dinner's being made anyway. Get some food in you. Least I can do to help out, considering everything you've been through. okay. And he kind of like takes a look at Elin.
That hits, but I think she'll be all right if she has a
All
little
right,
time to rest.
bring her in. I'll have my wife do some bandaging on her. She knows a thing. She knows her way around a medicine kit. And he waves you guys over, and Mordecai somehow manages to like just swing himself over the fence while still carrying Elin. Zarmorn, you just want to stay there, skinning the knoll?
Yep.
All right, Bram, where are you going?
I'm gonna go for a short rest.
All right, then you're heading to the house. Dave?
Yeah.
Short rest, I guess. But before that, though, Dave like just quickly goes to walks to Mordecai and goes, "So hey, how'd the hunt go? Looks like it went swimmingly, eh?"
There's more in there. We'll be going back as soon as Elan's
Not
functioning
dying.
condition.
So how's the fight? Easy, eh?
Not exactly.
Really?
I don't know if you noticed, but Elin is very close to dying.
Oh yeah, good point. I mean, I guess I thought that if it was you guys out there, it would be a lot easier.
And with that, you guys head up inside, and Elan's basically there's like a bench somewhere that you can lay her down onto, and Mr. Beaufort's wife like takes care of her like between that and finishing up a nice stew for dinner. The sun's setting as you guys take a short rest. Go ahead, whoever needs to use your hit dice. I'd say recover your spells, but Dave wasn't there and Elin didn't manage to cast shit.
I use a spell.
Oh, that's right. Well, here's the thing. A ranger can't recover spell slots during a short rest.
Ah.
So remember, mark down that you've used one of your 2
Yeah,
spell
I did.
slots. Okay, good. And about an hour later, when food's being poured out into bowls, and it looks like beef stew. In fact, the meat isn't even there. The meat's not even there until Mr. Beaufort comes in a little while later with one of the legs off the cow. He's just like, I mean, it's not getting any better. Just throws that into the pot like it's free beef. Like, what the hell are you gonna do?
It's free beef. He owned the cow.
Yeah. It's just like, now that we got people.
Okay,
here,
out of curiosity, do I regain back my hit points?
if you roll your hit dice to restore hit points, then yeah. Remember, each of you guys have 2 of your hit dice that you can roll and add your Constitution modifier to recover hit points.
I'm gonna use one of them just to top myself up.
All right. And then as you guys are resting, about an hour later, as you guys are eating, Elin wakes up.
What's up, guys? I'm back. How you
Oh
doing?
jeez, Ewan, what the hell happened?
How many times do I have to? Is he brain damaged? I look at the others. Is he brain damaged?
Probably.
Listen. I think he is. Dave, come here. Come a bit closer to me.
Okay, sure. He leans a bit closer.
I just smack him in the head. Just like, Dave!
Ow, what the hell, man?
Big back in the head, just Dave!
So it's Thorns.
Good question.
As you guys are eating dinner, it's not a foaming flagon of ale, but there are some clay cups with a stiff drink in it that the Beauforts offer you as part of dinner. Elin, if you want to roll your hit dice to recover some hit points, then go ahead.
I got exactly the amount I lost back.
It would.
I do.
I have 10 hit points back. Does the excess do anything, or do I just go to full?
It just goes
Do
to
I
max.
do D8 plus 2, right?
Yes, and you can do that twice if you want. But mark it down if you do it once or twice. All right,
Might as
so
well do it
you're
again.
up to 5 hit points then. If you want to do the second one, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the second one.
Or you could, well, actually, you kind of wake up in the middle of the short rest, so theoretically you could heal yourself with a spell and then take the short rest and recover the spell slot.
Can I do that?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
cool.
future reference. So if you prepared Cure Wounds and you're just like, ugh.
I did. I was gonna use it, and I'm like, I'm gonna use my fire, and then I died.
Yeah. What is with Elin just getting the shit kicked out of her and having to use Cure Wounds on herself?
She's
Because our other healer is a fucking dumbass.
He left.
Who
She's
plays
big.
patty cakes with spiders?
Dave can't heal. Wizards don't know cure wounds, but
Yeah, but
She's-
didn't you just say he was a healer? Was kind of a healer?
no.
Right,
I'm
right.
not
So
gonna lie. This session was a bunch of shit rolls and bad luck.
pretty much.
Yeah.
6.
Also,
All right.
Elon's basically Mercy, but constantly saying, "I need healing."
So,
I'm at
so
11.
You're at 11 out of what? 17?
17.
All right.
So
If you want to use your last
Mercy-
hit dice, you can. But
can see.
I'm just gonna. Do I want to?
they regenerate after a long rest. So if you guys are going back into the woods, then whatever you do in there, you're taking a long rest after that.
You know what? Yeah, let me use my last one. I'll use both.
All
I'll
right.
be safe.
Make sure
I'm
you guys
okay.
have this marked down so that when we continue, we know how many hit dice we've used. Mordecai used one. Zarmorn used one. I don't think Bram was hurt.
No, I was hurt. I took,
Yeah, he stumbled
I
and
tripped.
fell on his face.
Oh, that's
No,
right. That's
I
right.
tripped.
Do you want to spend a hit dice on that, or you just want to like leave?
I'll survive. I want to tune my cape resistance.
All right. What damage type do you want to be resistant?
Uh,
Slashing, bludgeoning, piercing, or magic? And make sure you mark it.
I want to resist magic damage.
All right. At the end of the rest, you can see the sort of tassel area of the bearskin cape just kind of slightly billowing about your back, as if there's just
Mhm.
kind of a perpetual breeze, but you feel a little bit more secure. Just kind of this strange sheath, this cocoon of protection around you.
Yeah.
He becomes a tornado.
Elin drinks 3 whole shots of 3 whole cups of farmer's ale, and she's feeling hale and hearty. Just foomp another, foomp another, foomp another. Okay, hang on a second.
She tries tipping a cow.
All right, and then for your short rest, you all eat your fill. You have some food. You rest up. Bram attunes his cape, and you, as the sun sets, you prepare to go on a witch hunt for some more gnolls in the woods. You're going to be doing this, if you decide to head back out into the woods, you're going to be doing this kind of in the evening, approaching nighttime.
Ooh, I have dark vision,
So do I.
Dark vision as well.
and my spider can also see in the dark.
Dave has dark vision.
Yeah, he's a tiefling.
Oh, that's right.
Tieflings have dark vision?
Yeah, they have dark vision.
I feel like I thought I checked that.
Holy shit. Dark vision, resistance to fire, and cantrips.
There goes setting him on fire. Kidding.
All right, yeah.
I mean,
So
totally from which I don't believe in. So
it
you know.
sounds like Elin, Dave, and Bram are not going to have a problem with this. Zarmorn and Mordecai are going to be a completely different story because they don't have dark vision. But
You don't know that.
hey, all right.
I got a torch.
Then it sounds like we'll
I have a rock.
pick this up. It sounds like you guys eat, drink, rest up, and with the sun